What's going on, everybody? BobbyFi, Eric Sheetsaber. We're going to be talking through this NFL playoff card. I'm sorry, the not playoff card, the divisional round. It was a very, very short year ago, or I guess it's almost exactly a year that I won this one for $1 million. So I'm hoping that I can repeat because a lot of close calls lately, but we haven't gotten back there. So I'm hoping the good luck comes back to me here. Sheets, any overall thoughts before we jump into these game by game here?
So let's do the same thing. We'll go through all four games.
Yep.
We'll kind of focus on let's just say we're playing the four game slate, and we'll just kind of get into it.
Sounds good. All right. Well, starting off with Buffalo and Denver. Anything you like particularly in this game, Sheets?
Yeah, I do think that Denver's getting a little lack of respect, and I think again everybody's back on Buffalo. There's been a lot of pro Buffalo stuff again, and as you mentioned, it's NFL would be very, very appreciative if Josh Allen won. Not that the refs gave them. Listen, they definitely earned that last week. That was it. They tried to give it away at the end, with kind of a disgusting time management decision. But that's what was going to question. Hey, play back.
So.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is that people underestimate, I think, how valuable the bye is for these teams that have been playing all freaking year long. And I think that both sides of this, I think Denver and then when we get to Seattle, I think both these teams with byes playing teams that had like really tough games the week before, I think it's a really, really big edge, especially here. So I actually do like Denver in this game. I have no idea actually how they're going to win, but I do think that Denver is going to win this game.
Yeah, it's weird because I like Buffalo. I have Buffalo and the Rams in the Super Bowl, so maybe I'm a little biased, even though I don't like, me, I'm not like the biggest Buffalo fan. But I do feel like it is. I mean, the spread changed already, which was bizarre that it opened with the Bills -1.5. Now you got the Broncos -1.5, which feels more appropriate. But it's a little bit interesting because if you watch Buffalo play, there are so many holes on this team. But I don't think the AFC is very good, and I don't think I'm not overly afraid of Denver. Josh Allen's great in the cold; he's great in the playoffs. What about from a DFS perspective, Sheets? What are you getting to from this game? Do you think?
I like RJ Harvey for Denver. I think that I think you can run on Buffalo. And I think given the rest of the slate, I mean, listen, you have McCaffrey, but then you have a couple of split backfields, So I do like Harvey here for Denver. For Buffalo, I guess Josh Allen looks pretty good. But I think I'm going a different route than I think this game could be a little bit low scoring. I think that I think it's difficult to go win in Denver. I think it's difficult to go win in Denver off a shortish week, off of someone else with a bye. I don't know if Buffalo's going to do this. The one guy that I would say, and you're highlighting him right here, is the James Cook, okay? Because they're coming off a game where he had a freaking floor performance, okay, and he was like 100 million% owned in all formats, and Allen did get crap beat out of him. You know what I mean? And I've been saying throughout the course of the year that if Buffalo had it their way, they would just pound the rock, even though they have Josh Allen. So I actually do like both the running backs in this game. I like Harvey and I like Cook, and that's the way I think the game's going to go.
Yeah, it's hard because Cook can get so much work, but at the same time, Jacksonville's run defense is unbelievable. Denver's might even be better. And they just could not do anything with James Cook at all. And I am a little worried about history somewhat repeating itself in that case. There are other running backs I think I slightly prefer, and one being on the other side. I really like RJ Harvey. I think on these slates, you're supposed to be overweight Josh Allen all the time. The ceiling is just much higher than it is for anybody else. We see the 2 rushing touchdowns. He doesn't even have to have like a huge game to put up big numbers. This is a tough matchup because they don't have great weapons and the secondary is really good for Denver. But I think we go back to the tight ends a little bit. I kind of like the low-owned Dawson Knox on this bigger slate. I just like other ones. I might double tight end for value, but I'm still trying to figure out what to do with Buffalo, to be completely honest. I know I like Josh Allen, and I know I'm going to always be overweight him on these smaller slates when he's not getting as much ownership as I feel he should. I'll probably be below weight on Bo Nix and probably above weight on Cortland Sutton, definitely above weight on RJ Harvey. And the zero ownership on Mims and Troy Franklin is sort of sticking out to me. They run a lot for Mims, and they'll run like designed run plays for him near the goal line too. He also has the return equity. So if you're playing the Denver defense, I think that pairing it with Mims makes some sense. But those are sort of long shot plays. The main guys being Harvey, Sutton, and Josh Allen for me. San Francisco and Seattle. Sheets, what are your thoughts on this one?
Well, I'll say the same thing that I did last week. That one thing you can count on is that Christian McCaffrey is getting the rock.
Yep.
Dude, the guy is just an incredible football player. You know what I mean? That's just that's just what it is. I mean, how does he make that catch?
How does he make that catch? And by the way, how about that throw though to put it on the money?
Yeah, I mean, incredible.
In the wind, that was incredible. The whole thing.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah. So he's going to get the ball. I mean, with Kittle out now, whatever. I mean, it's just McCaffrey on top of McCaffrey. You know, so it's going to be a very, very difficult fade. And yes, okay, Seattle's defense is very tough. I don't know how they're going to, what they're going to do. I mean, they basically got suffocated last time these guys played, right? Can't see anything different happening, but guy's going to get 40 touches. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, I think you're going to have to play it. The other guys that are coming in from San Francisco, okay, with Kittle out, you're going to have the who's it, Demarcus Robinson, right? He kind of appeared last week as the dude, but Jennings is an obvious play, So McCaffrey, Jennings. I don't know if I have it in me to do any real full San Francisco offense against, again, the Seattle defense just doesn't give up anything. That's just the way I've seen it. On the Seattle side, I refuse to predict these running backs. I'm not doing it. I do think that JSN is JSN versus Puka. I mean, I think they're very similar as far as their projection this week, or maybe the way they could be. I don't know. We'll talk about Puka in a bit, obviously. But I like JSN. I don't like much else on Seattle except for their defense. So it's McCaffrey. And then probably you should play Jennings and or Robinson. They're going to be probably playing from behind, so they're going to get targets. But I think McCaffrey gets 25 in most variations here.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of ways to go with this game. One, nothing that happened on Sunday. I'm super impressed with Shanahan. I'm super impressed with San Francisco as a whole. I still don't believe that they're very good defensively. And the numbers will back me up on this. Seattle is awesome defensively and might just rely on their defense to win, but I can't not take target shots at these guys. The one position that Seattle is really poor at defending is the tight end, and it's the only position. And now we have no Kittle, and we've got a cheap Tonjes, which is I just think we have to take some shots there. They're going to have to move the ball somehow. McCaffrey's obviously going to be what they try, but I mean, look, it's not a coincidence. You get in the playoffs, every team these are all elite run defenses.
Mm-hmm.
Now McCaffrey is a receiver too, but they're an elite passing. They don't give up much to the running back from the passing game. You could just see, the difference between when you play Seattle and when you play other people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
McCaffrey, in 2 games he's got 11 and to keep McCaffrey in single digits. But I'm going to have some shares of McCaffrey, and then I think Tonjes is the most interesting offensive piece for San Francisco, just because that their defense, it's the one area I can pick out. Pearsall will determine whether or not I want to play Jennings or go back to Demarcus Robinson again, who I tell you what, even if Pearsall's good, aren't you kind of interested in, if you're San Francisco and trying to take another shot with Demarcus Robinson? That guy had separation the entire game. Yeah. So that's my San Francisco take. I really don't know anybody. What I know is I'll be underweight Kenneth Walker and overweight Zach Charbonnet.
Okay.
Everybody else on Seattle, I think I'm going to be overweight on. I think I'll be overweight Rashid Shaheed. I think I'll be overweight everybody. I just think this is a spot where you can try and attack this defense for San Francisco. And I certainly could see this being like a lights out. Having said all that, I think San Francisco defense is one of the better options on the slate. And they're going to be owned. So you play it one side or the other, but I really think that getting these low-owned defenses can be really, really beneficial. Sorry about the vacuum in the background.
No problem.
All right, she'd start us off with Houston and New England.
So I don't know. Again, like, this is like the ultimate trap or whatever it was. When I saw what this matchup was going to be, I'm like, okay, what's this over-under, like 34? I mean, like, how is anybody scoring this game? And it's like 41? Like, how on earth does anybody score? So I guess it's going to be an over. I mean, I can't see it. I mean,
also, I don't know. 35-mile-an-hour wind gusts.
Right. But so how is it 41? I mean, like, I don't get it. Literally at all. Collins is the main question, obviously, whether he's playing or not. If he's not playing, then these other guys, like, what's his name, Kirk again. What's his name, Jalen, not Reed. Oh crap, whatever his name is. Remind me of the Houston wide receiver. I lost you. I can't hear you.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me now? Sorry, it's just the vacuuming. Sorry about that. I can't stop them from doing it right now. All right, so yeah, Kirk, Higgins, and Hutchinson.
Higgins, that was the guy I was looking at.
Yeah.
So there's that. On the New England side, I mean, I don't know how you really do much against Houston, to be perfectly honest with you. If anything, maybe I'd play just Ramondre Stevenson or something like that. It's going to be I don't see variations where it's anything but like 17-10 or something. I don't even know who gets the 17. I mean, really, I think it's going to be a very defensive heavy game, and I want to avoid most of it as far as DFS goes.
I hear you. Of course, because of all this, I'm trying to find my angles of what to do, because I know this game is going to get fairly overlooked, which is really weird without Collins, because you have so much value, and I think it'll go towards Kirk. I kind of like the Higgins play a little bit better, just at lower ownership. Unfortunately, that's what cost me on the Monday Showdown, because I had so many Houston defense captains that I thought I was going to win the money, but I had 25% Kirk, who was 9% owned, but I did not have the mix together because I had money to spend, and that's where sometimes spending all your salary can get you in trouble. Anyway, but all this to say, look, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do here. It's a tricky one, because I think the best case is Woody Marks, Dalton Schultz, Higgins, then Kirk. And I think if you're looking for a bizarre play, especially for Sunday, but even for the weekend slate, Jalen Noel, or Noel, actually, as it's pronounced, if we have no Collins, I love Jalen Noel. I think that's the sneaky, could win you all the money play for Sunday, for Showdown, but potentially for the weekend slate as well. So, yeah, it's mix and match with all these receivers and everything like that. And Christian Kirk, I think, is going to be much more popular than whatever projections you're seeing if we have no Collins. However, I just want to throw out, if Collins plays, he probably becomes my favorite receiver on the slate. If he's really a full go, I think you can move the ball a little bit on New England, even though the weather's not great, and they will be looking to Collins' big body here. On the New England side, again, not a crazy amount of interest. I agree that Stevenson at low ownership is kind of interesting, but the one who I would side with here is Travion Henderson. It's the way things have been going. They've been going more to Stevenson lately. I could see Travion Henderson potentially, if you're gonna get Houston. They're such a good tackling team, but give me a guy who can break one away, and I think Henderson is probably my favorite New England piece. It feels weird because when I look at this game, I'm sorry, Hunter Henry and Henderson, but there's really nothing to really love. So I had to sort of force in the love for these guys, but yeah, this is the one everyone will sort of overlook, and because of it, maybe just getting exposure to the running game here might be a good way to go, because there's the running backs are not in like incredible spots in most of the other situations.
I talked to you. Give me your take on the Bears Rams.
Okay, so I like the Rams. I don't think that I mean, look, it's getting a little bit weird though to me. I have to say, the Bears play these weird games that they somehow always win, and they never look like they're going to win. I think they've got 7 or 8 wins this year where it looked like there was no way they could win, and the Rams have all of their losses in games that look like there's no way they can lose. And last week was one of them for about 3 quarters, or actually, really, it was just, I guess, the beginning of the first half. But it looked like that was going to be an absolute stomping. And then just some things happen, and you make a mistake here and there, and all of a sudden, I mean, seeing the Rams penalized like they were, I've never seen that from the Rams. They are the least penalized team over the last 5 years in football by so much. And every single year, they're the least penalized team. I don't think it happens again. I think the Rams win this game. I do think it should be close. I know all the teams going. So there's the two stats that I always bring up, Sheets. There's the West Coast teams traveling east for games that start after 4 p.m. Eastern time. They are 70% against the spread over the last 20 years. However, you take these dome teams and you put them into sub 40 degree weather, and they basically are like 1 in a million against the spread. I still am taking my Rams. I'm not going to say there's not a bias. I think the Rams are better than Chicago, but I do like what Chicago's been doing, and I think this is clearly the game to target for DFS.
Well, who do you like in the game? I mean, you like the Bears cheapos? I mean, but no, as far as the players.
Oh, I thought you was just wanting me to start off with the game take. Yeah. So as far as the players go, I do think Nakua is the most desirable wide receiver. I think he's pretty. I think it's closer though than maybe people think with he and JSN. But Nakua, and then we don't have Nico Collins, so we'll see about that one. I do think Devontae could have a game here, but I'm going to go back to my tight end group. Parkinson was the man last week. I will definitely have some Parkinson shares, but I am very happy to go back to Tyler Higbee. That guy's a monster, and I will bet outright that Tyler Higbee scores a touchdown this week. And then Kyron probably going to be with the 25% of the field. I'm a little worried about Corum possibly stealing it, so maybe get some exposure to Corum. I don't mind like a few percentage points on the weekend slate, on the Sunday slate. I think you absolutely are playing Corum in a heavy way on the 2-gamer. On the Bears side, I like Monange, and I think playing Monange over Swift will be extremely contrarian, and I think it's an interesting route to go. I like the receivers because they're going to have zero ownership, so I will be, as I said last week, I don't know which one it's going to be. I think DJ Moore, I think Luther Burden's the most logical. I think DJ Moore and Rome Odunze will be overlooked a little bit, and I love trying to go out of my way to get to these guys. So maybe if I fade the San Francisco offense to a large degree, if I fade the Buffalo receivers and everything to a large degree, maybe I get all my stuff in this last game. I don't think that's going to be revolutionary, but I do think DJ Moore, Rome Odunze will be super low owned, and you can bet for sure that I will have, I don't know, double the field on those guys.
All right, so here's my take, Duck. Okay, so
I know what you're going to say.
So
you're going to win like 16-9 or something, right?
No, so here's my take. First of all, this is one of the coldest games that's going to be in Chicago, like in a long time.
Yeah.
And I have seen this game before, in different forms. Most notably, actually, this goes back like a long time, but back when the Niners were really, really good, way back when they were really good, they went into Chicago on one of those days where Ditka was coaching, and it was like 2 degrees and the wind was blowing, and San Francisco was somehow like a 2-point favorite in Chicago, and it was the ultimate like fancy play to say, how are you not taking the Bears at home in the fog and the cold? And San Francisco won by 40. Okay, like in Chicago, that was their. I forget which Super Bowl that was, but one of the Montana Super Bowls ended up that way. So that's in my head. But I'll tell you something. You know, the Rams, maybe they'll learn at some point to like not mail in the regular season. You know, like because they really put themselves in these spots, and they're have to go into freaking Carolina in that freaking weather and escape there. They're going to have to go into Chicago and escape there. Then God forbid they get through that. They're going to have to go into Seattle. You know, and do that. I'll put it this way: they'll definitely will have earned it. Okay, if they win this, I think they get punished this week. I think the Bears win. I do, and I think it's going to be high scoring, and I think Caleb's the best play. on the slate.
Okay.
And even if they don't win, you know what I mean? Like he's got that backup where if I'm wrong about the Bears winning, he's going to be doing what he always does in the second half, just flinging the ball around without caring where it goes. You know.
Well, one thing I really like about that take too is just that Caleb Williams is currently projected to be sub 10%, and you have Matt Stafford who's 500 more, but you probably are going to have flexibility going into the last game. Matt Stafford's going to be more than double the ownership of Caleb Williams. You could have the flexibility to do whatever you want going into that last game. So I like the idea of being overweight Williams, certainly from the get-go.
Yeah. So that's my thought. I do think this is where the majority of the fantasy points are going to come from, is from this game. I don't care about the cold, honestly. Like, Nakua and Adams, and the Bears can't stop anybody either. You know what I mean? So I think this game's going to shoot out. It's going to be the late hammer of the whole slate, and I think it's going to deliver. And I really think it's going to be a good game. I think it's one of those weird things like where like every game the Bears are like awful in like the first half, and all of a sudden they say, "Okay, Caleb, just kind of do your thing, and we don't give an F what happens," and they come back. Why don't they just start off the game like that? It's like, I got this weird feeling that's what's going to happen. That there's going to be no more trying to establish it with these guys. I think he's going to like go to I think they're going to go to Caleb Williams. Okay, presume we're down 20 like now. You know what I mean? We don't care if you throw an interception. I don't really care. You know what I mean? Let's just freaking do it. And I think that game's going to go ballistic. I don't think the Bears can stop the Rams. So I think it will be one of the better games that you'll see, regardless of the weather or whatever. I just do think the Bears kind of like punish the Rams. What's the word I'm looking for? Almost not cockiness, but like it seems like, okay, we'll screw around and get this win. We'll screw around, we'll get this win. You know, whatever it is. Yeah. So that's my take. But overall, kind of like a bookend slate. I think you could get fantasy points in the first game. I think you get fantasy points from the last game. And I don't know about the Seattle game. You know, listen, obviously McCaffrey and JSN, but I just doesn't feel like a lot of points are ever escaping out of that building.
Yeah, I agree with you. I yet also think because of it's strange that in a game like this that's cold and it's not the best or whatever, but nobody's going to play the defenses. I'm just throwing it out there.
Rams defense could score 30 in this game.
I like the idea of getting to some Rams defense, and I actually don't mind even getting to some Bears just because I think they're look, we're talking about 4 games here, and the way you're going to win this slate is by having potentially, I mean, these low-owned defenses, the difference, we're talking about fraction of points that they're being projected differently, and one's going to be 30% and one's going to be 5%. Just side with the 5%ers.
What do you think? New England, Seattle, New England, and Houston, both those teams, those will get owned defensively, and Seattle, those 3 probably.
I think it'll be the Seahawks, Broncos, and Texans will be the highest owned. But I actually think it's a little more spread out than it was going to be. And it's interesting because I actually think that I mean, look, the Niners against Sam Darnold, even as I complain about their defense, like we've seen Sam Darnold just.
We sure have.
I mean, he could throw 3 or 4 picks and take 6 sacks. And one of those picks might get run back. Next thing you know, you got 30 points for your defense. Yeah. Even if you lose the game. Anyway, the Rams had a game with Seattle like that already this season. So it's totally possible. So it should be a fun one. I will be live this weekend. Sheets has got his backgammon tournament. Yep. I'll try to get Rody to join me again, and maybe we can recreate it. It was me and Rody did the Saturday show last year when I won the thing. So maybe we can recreate some of the same magic.
All right, and we did it. We got out of here by 2.
We got it. All right, buddy. Good luck to you. Good luck to everybody out there, and we'll see you guys hopefully at the top of the leaderboards this weekend.